very good morning to everybody. Ben is here. Today I'm going to give a short presentation on wet feces diseases in shrimp culture. So why I give this topic? Because I got a lot of feedback from overseas, especially in Asia, like India, Indonesia, of course even in China. Most of the farmers facing the wet feces diseases problem. Okay, this I think is from Indian. This is the wet feces, and this is a healthy shrimp. Let's move on. Today we are covering the following potential reasons which cause the wet feces disease, and inducing factors, and how to treat the wet feces, and some suggestions. Potential reasons which cause the wet feces. The first is EHP, which is enterocytosine hepatopenic, and the second is protozoon. The third will be Vibrio. That is many kinds of Vibrio. So like the Parahemolyticus and Mimicus, Alginolyticus, and the other kinds of Vibrios. Okay, so this photo is a wet feces. What is this is a healthy one. This is a wet feces. Okay. This is a wet feces. Okay, wet feces actually is absolute cells from hepatopancreas and the intestine, not the real feces. Okay, so inducing factors like the suddenly changing in the water parameters, and later I will give the detail on these parameters, and shifting of water bacteria in the water body, and like from the harmful from the beneficial bacteria to the harmful bacteria. Normally we like the bacillus and EM in the water body, but of course a lot of harmful bacteria also in the water body. And for the phytoplankton, we like the green algae, we like the delta, but of course some blue algae also in the water body. And also there is a balancing between the bacteria and the phytoplankton. If lose the balance, maybe some water parameters will change a lot in a day. The last one is shrimp stress. Once we stress the shrimp, will affect the appetite, decrease the appetite, I mean. So after a few days, maybe diseases will outbreak. And the parameters, especially the pH, we can see this photo, the hidden algae in the water. Okay, in a day, the pH will vary a lot, from 8 to 9.6 and 9.7. Once above 9, pH above 9, definitely will stress the shrimp. Okay, so the following the pathogens will infect your shrimp. And the DO. Okay, the DO, especially for the high density, make sure the DO is above 5 milligrams per liter. Once lower than 3 or 2, definitely stress the shrimp, and following days maybe the shrimp will got a problem. Another is common is temperature. At this season in China, the temperature fluctuates a lot. In the nighttime maybe 14 or 15, but in the daytime at noon maybe 30 or something. Okay, monitoring your temperature and the salinity, especially for the zero change water change system, and the salinity is keep increasing. Once the heavy rain, okay, the salinity will drop a lot. At that time, will stress your shrimp. Ammonia and nitrate is very, very common. I think most of our friends know how to test what's the safety range. For the treatment, it's very important for the wet feces. So you better monitoring the shrimp daily. Once you find your shrimp got the wet feces at the beginning, maybe a few number, so you must find out what's the reason. Is it due to EHP or Vibrio or protozoa? Okay, if the EHP, you better add some essential oil to control the number of EHP. As we all know, the EHP live in the cell, so it's very difficult to kill. Okay, we only can control and not for killing. You can use some essential oil, and later you add some product which can repair your shrimp hepatopancreas. Okay, like the bile acid, like the herb extract. They also use some other feed additive. And if the Vibrio, okay, because in China now we cannot use antibiotic, only can use a natural product to kill the Vibrio. You also, the common product will be essential oil. Okay, after a few days, your shrimp will recover. But if too late, in the a lot of shrimp infected by the Vibrio or EHP, then stop feeding. Finally, they will stop feeding. I think it's hard to treat, and I mean recovery, impossible to recover. Definitely will cause some mortality. As we all know, the wet feces actually is not feces. It's absolute cells of hepatopancreas and the intestine. So that means once infected by such kind of pathogens, definitely damage the shrimp intestine and hepatopancreas. The last suggestion, tell your person who is in charge of your farm monitoring the shrimp daily. If you found something abnormal, take action as soon as possible. Find out what's the reason. Is it due to the water quality? Solve the problem as soon as possible. Okay, this is my short presentation for today. Thanks. If you have any questions, feedback, you can contact to my WhatsApp. Okay, the final, this is our customer from Thailand. They use some of essential oils and you see the tiger prawn is very healthy and of course a good harvest. Okay, see you next talk.